I think we have found the most toxic deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket currently, right? We have Meowth and Greninja. This just sounds disgusting, right? But it actually works. Now, you pair that combo with Mega Altaria, it just becomes more insane, right? So, the deck functions as well as the Altaria Greninja variants, but it has defense now. It has Meowth. We all know Meowth was good with Chandelure, right? Playing good defense and fixing your consistency issues to draw cards, right? So you could get into that Chandelure quicker. That being said, Meowth is no different in this deck. It helps you get into your Greninjas faster. It lets you get your Altaria. Um, you do play cards like Alicia and Copycat for the consistency and stuff like that. You do have room for a Poncho just to make sure your Altaria is safe, or Swablu, because there are a lot of Greninjas out there, right? Now, that being said, right, as you guys can see here, did not draw optimally. My opponent literally went crazy on us, right? With that turn one, like, Copycat, with like setting up his board. um he did drop the, what do you call it, Mega Absol. So as soon as he did that, I had my win condition, right? Because like he literally needed to get it away because he did not want to put it back into the deck. And right here we could see that he's getting all his Lucky Pop slips. He does not miss when it comes to that. So it doesn't really matter to me right now because I'm going to be honest, my real target is that Mega Absol, and that's all I really care about. And I played Alicia here because I checked the deck. We have 6 cards left, right? So what I'm gonna do is I would rather thin out my deck and save like that slot for, what do you call it, Greninja. Another, what do you call it, Froakie, because if I would have put the Meowth in there, I would have been in a tough situation where I'm only pinging for once, right? And he has access to that lucky Ice Pop in his hand, so he could probably heal that Mega Absol on the bench. So right now, you guys can see he completely decked out. He has all his answers in his hand, and there's really nothing that he could do right now, right? So we're gonna just flip. He gets our Meowth. So we're going to come in with Mega Altaria, and because we're in a situation where we're gonna swing, the statistics were better favored on our end. So we're gonna go into Meowth. We're actually going to retreat. I didn't get the Greninja that I actually needed to pop off here. So my bet was to Cyrusson the Mega Absol, attack for 130, take the 130, and then use the second Cyrus to Cyrus it back in for game. But that was not the case. I would have to use Meowth and get one more defend. But in this case, he got greedy, went for the Sabrina, and I came in here, took the 130. I had 3 cards left, and all I needed was that rare candy, and I drew my rare candy, went in, evolved the Greninja, got the second Greninja, double ping the Mega Absol, and then used Cyrus for game. Like, this deck is insanely strong. You see this high roll deck hit his high roll, and we were able to successfully defeat them. So you can see the power of Meowth and Greninja. It's just insane. Could this engine be in everything? Probably. But here we're up against Swinninja, right? So that being said, it could be awkward filling up your board here because like Altaria does need its allies in order to attack, right? So that being said, here, you have the double Froakies, right? You want to get those live as soon as possible, but drawing the Altaria wouldn't also be a bad thing either. That being said, we're just here, we're relaxing, we're just waiting for the next best thing. So, he does put the energy in the back, so I'm thinking he's setting up for Greninja EX at this point. And, at this point, I don't know what to do. I need to Professor's research because I have to see, but my better options. And then you know, funny enough, we did end up getting the Meowth. Now the Meowth is gonna help us out and accelerate our, you know, pieces, right? I do have another Professor's Research in the back just in case, but he does evolve the other Froakie for whatever reason, right? So we're gonna go draw 2. I think I just hold on to my Mega Altaria because I don't want him to start pinging. But at the same time, we're just gonna keep drawing cards. He realizes that he can attack with the Suicune, so he's gonna put the energy on the Suicune and then drop another Suicune, and then has the Greninja going to ping my Swablu, which is rather unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, Meowth doing Meowth things helped us get the Altaria and the Stadium card. So, you know, we wouldn't have been here in this spot, in this game state, if it wasn't for the Meowth. Now we're going to evolve and take advantage of the field, right? So now his other, what do you call it? Suicune cannot attack, so we're gonna use Lucia to draw, thin out the deck, attack for 140, get the free 2 points. Now in this situation, even if he does have Greninja EX, you know, if we get rare candy, we could like drag in anything else. But at the same time, he did not end up getting Greninja EX. He did end up swapping back into the other Suicune. He did waste his giant cape on the Froakie in the back, so you know, unfortunate for him, but you know, it is what it is. So we do end up copycatting so we can find the rare candy and evolve, but you know, I just wanted to see if we would find it regardless. But here we are. We are playing against a Blaziken EX. Fun fact, this won the tournament, my tournament yesterday of this recording. Yeah, this is going up today. So literally, Blaziken is definitely one of those decks that's heavily slept on, right? But I don't know what this guy was cooking up, because he is playing Entei. Of course, you want the draw engine and everything. One thing that you will notice, your opponent will get their full setup, and just the fact that Meowth is here defending, it just really doesn't matter, because as soon as you could get into your Greninja EXs, you're pretty much in a good stable situation and you're ready to pop off. You know, I feel like this deck was introduced towards like the end of ranked season. I'm kind of glad it was towards the end of ranked season, because I could not play against this deck. I would not want to play against this deck. I already secured my top 1000 and you know, recorded this video playing it just to show you how strong this deck is, like what you're encountering within the top 1000s right now. So that being said, you know, you could see, like I said earlier, this guy set up double Blaziken EX in the back row and even capes one of them. So, you know, it narrows down my vision to tunnel vision. So we're gonna only go after the one that's 210, and we end up getting what do you call it, the Frogadier here, and now we're just one card away from getting, you know, starting to win the game. We need to find our Altaria, actually 2 cards, Altaria and Greninja, and then, you know, you could see how strong this Meowth is, just playing the hard defense. Sure, if he knocked this one out, I could always return, play the other Meowth, and then just keep drawing cards. Like the ratio of Pokemon basics, we could afford to get rid of 2 Meowths and then have 2 more bench Pokemon. Why do you see double Swablu? You want to have Swablu in the bench, and Sing can still potentially win you games. So, you know, you can't completely ignore the second Swablu. But that being said, the second Meowth comes in, and we're still trying to figure out our pieces here. But I feel like at this point, it really doesn't matter if he takes the knockout on this Meowth or not. So I'm just going to evolve, just in case if he does have, for whatever reason, hand disruption. I don't think he does, because he's a Blaziken player. But at the same time, we're just going to keep drawing and set up the other Greninja, because if the other one, you know, 2 is better than 1. That's what it really comes down to. And yeah, no. But You know, it's just gonna get us there. We're gonna bring out the Swablu, I mean the Altaria, and then from here we're just gonna literally win the game because we're holding every card in our hand, everything, our whole deck. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this deck.